Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments, and help you with your HUT lineup decisions. Do want to touch on some big topics first before we get into the last video's comments. Number one is the extension of Team of the Season for the forwards and the sets. So if you didn't see my video yesterday, I went over this big update that EA did, and it looks like they're walking back some of the things that they did for the Team of the Year release. Number one, and the biggest one, is that Team of the Year forwards will be able to be made all the way to next Friday, so the entirety of the event. So for all the people that were wondering, should I make Kucherov or wait for a defenseman, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You'll be able to wait as long as you want until next Friday to make whatever Team of the Year players that you want, which is a good change. I think this is 100% the way that it should be, and I'm glad that they went this route. Really separating them just kind of is a money grab. There's no reason to not just allow players to make any player they want for Team of the Year. Secondly, I made a video going over what to do with like your lower sets, lower overalls, so like 70s all the way up to, I did a video explaining how to use those cards, lower overalls, to turn them into 83s and so on and so forth. Something that I did not address more vocally, that I should have made more apparent, is that you want to do that with untradeable cards. The tradable cards, if you do the math, look how much they're selling for. So look how much a 77 is selling for, right? And then see if that's a better value. Almost every single time it will be. The exchange sets all the way up are really bad value. I just wanted to highlight in a video showing you how to actually do it, because I know a lot of people won't even know how to, like, the Team of the Week set where you like bridge the gap as you're upgrading cards. It's not really explained. So I just want to address that as for people that are looking to burn their collection to try and make as many Team of the Year cards as they can. So that being said, let's get into today's content, or today's questions. Can I make it bigger? We'll make them one more. There we go. All right. Wayne says, I watched your prior video when you slid your slider to full efficiency. I've since copied that on line one, only consisting of Team of the Year McDavid and Kucherov, and McDavid and Kucherov, and I can feel better stamina outcome. I have a theory after using McDavid and McKinnon that because they have gold wheels and edges to speed synergies, which essentially allow you to keep your speed at all times. When you combine wheels and edges, you're literally using all the speed that card has at all times. And I feel like it's draining their stamina way faster. I don't have any proof of this. It's just when I played with them, I'm like, dude, why are they already off the ice? And it was immediate, and I never really noticed that with some of the other cards, and just kind of frustrating, obviously, because you go end-to-end with them once, and that's pretty much it. So I messaged the gameplay developer that I trust. He hasn't gotten back to me, but I'm hoping that they take a look at it. Maybe it's wrong, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm overthinking it, but it just, something seemed off. So what he's referring to is that in my strategies, if you go to line one and all the sliders, change all of the efficiency or energy, put it all the way to efficiency for just that line. Forever, all the other lines, I would leave it at 5. This is my first year really playing a full season of Hockey Ultimate Team. How does Team of the Year compare to Team of the Season in terms of value and performance? Given the fact these Team of the Year cards automatically upgrade if they get a higher overall card, I feel the 1587s may actually seem cheap when Team of the Season comes out. I have already made Ultimate Nate and McDavid and have a little collection and coins left. I'm debating on loading my roster, which is mostly 87s or 89s, to get one of the D-men next week. So, Team of the Year is essentially the 6 best players in that calendar year. Team of the Season, at least in prior years, I have a feeling that it's going to be drastically different because what else isn't, is essentially a full team. Usually it's North American as well as European, and then there's usually like a Young Stars one that is like under 23, and it's a full roster of players that operate the same as Team of the Year cards, where if they get an upgrade for the remainder of the year, they go up to that value. They all have crazy abilities, they have double the synergies, all of the same things that the Team of the Year cards have. So it's just on a longer scale. The reason why the Team of the Year event is always kind of the highlight event of the year is because most of the player base has given up by the time Team of the Season comes around. You got to think that's October, November, December, January, February, March. It usually starts middle of March, and then into April, you're looking at 6 months. So That's 6 months into the year. Sport games or yearly developed games, they don't have a 1 year shelf life. They have a 6 month shelf life. So that's why Team of the Year is always kind of the biggest event of the year, because those cards are so impactful right now and is when the biggest part of the player base is still playing. Hey, Slaves, love the content, especially at this time of the year. I wanted to get your thoughts on my lineup plans. I already made the 3 NHL Team of the Year cards, and I have enough untradeable 87s to make one of the defenseman cards when it comes out. I have a pretty stacked team with Fantasy Pareko, Sanheim, Ekholm, and ASP. On top of that, I have 2 million coins. I'm debating on buying 87s to make a second Team of the Year defenseman and essentially finish my team's defense. Or I can save the 2 million and spend it on 75 to 79 cards and making a bunch of hologram power-up icons. I feel like I can make around 5 or 6 icons with 2 million coins, so I can fill my lineup with some of the best names in the game. I've always been one to care about the name on the card than the sets. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on my dilemma, and if you think hologram cards will be easier to make after Team of the Year. Love the content. Oh, it's hard to think about what's going to happen after Team of the Year, because the number one thing, whatever the event that happens right after Team of the Year, it's going to operate a lot like at the NHL 2000s event. So after the Gallery of Greats event, which was one of the craziest events we've ever gotten, it basically wipes out the interest because those cards have no shot at competing at what everyone just dumped their collection for. So when that happens, usually there's a really big drop in price points for everything. Now, I would assume that we're going to get the next series of X Factor at some point. Like, it literally has to drop. We had Series 1, and maybe they just abandoned it. But you're more than likely going to be happier just going after the holograms, the ones that you like. You said that you care about the name of the card, not the stats. Then I would definitely go after your favorite players for sure in that aspect. Hey, Slaves, love the work and advice. Has really helped me become a better player. My dilemma is this. I have Mario's hologram, and I was wondering what would be the best hologram to make next. I know Gretz is the only option, but I make a Penguins theme team every year, and the Aginla card keeps catching my eye. What do you think your recommendation? Thanks, and GG to your Sharks last night. Yeah, that was the nail in the coffin, I think, on the Penn season, maybe. Don't make Gretzky if you're a Penguins fan. No. Make Aginla. Yeah, make Aginla. Although I forgot Aginla was a Penguin. I'd love to see them also do honorable mentions for the Team of the Year event, either after or during Team of the Year, because there are so many other players who would deserve the card. I think at least, given the way that they've done this, they could have done like 80... Like, a way to make it more viable. Like, one of the good things, in my opinion, sorry, I'm going all over the place. One of the good things they did this year is that they gave you base Team of the Year items. Those are master set player items with headshots, and it allows all the player base, no matter if you just started or not, to get access to the event. And that's a major problem about Team of the Year in the past, is that if you just started, there's no way to really make a card. I would have loved to see the nominees at least get 87s. You know, that would be kind of cool. And that way the nominees would get a little bit more love. That's probably the best way to do it. If Team of the Year endurance isn't even broken and they don't fix it, then I don't know what to say. I'm thinking about keeping McDavid's X Factor because of it, but I've already made McKinnon, so we need to figure this out. Like I said, guys, this might just be in my head. I also have Pareko, and he never loses energy, but he's also 99s across the board. I don't know if I pay attention to individual cards as much as I am with the Team of the Year. I'm going to try and pay attention to like my second line and notice if the Kucherov's X Factor runs out of energy in 2 shifts and I'm just not paying attention. It might just be that we're hyper-focusing on our Team of the Year cards because they're the brand new, tiny, shiny toys. Hey, Slaves, love the vids lately. Just a quick question. I made Mac and traded X Factor McDavid for the Team of the Year, and I still have about 30 87s. The plan was to wait and make McCarr and Hughes if they win, but using the Heisey card in moments is making me reconsider my choice. What do you think I should do? And by the way, my first line center is Gretzky. Heisey's card, for all intents and purposes, looks amazing. I also want to point out, someone on Reddit, I don't remember the username, I apologize. If you Google Heisey Team of the Year Reddit, you should be able to find him. He went and did the math. It's actually far cheaper to make her X Factor and upgrade that way based on the price points of like 78 and above overall cards. This will probably change the market value in some of those cards. But again, you can do the math. All right, guys? So look at what's required. It looks like you're going to save about 300,000 to 400,000 coins in value if you go the X Factor route, make Taylor Heisey's X Factor, and then trade it in. So if you are thinking about it, try and look and see if that still is the case. Hi, Slaves. I'm in a really bad spot. I have the 90 nominee Kucherov, but not enough collection needed to make him. Do I sacrifice my whole team to make him, or just keep the 90 Kucherov and move on? Well, you have an extra week. So you can make the 3 free ones from the event objectives and everything like that, and then you should be in a better spot. Hey, Sleeves, I got a question. I have McDavid, and I barely have enough for Kucherov if I do the Frozen Forces set. Should I wait for a defenseman? I also have Ekholm, though. Again, same situation. This video was done before the changes yesterday. You should be able to make enough, and if you can't near the end of the week, then you have to make a decision. Hey, Sleeves, I was fortunate enough to be able to make Ultimate McDavid and potentially get one of the base 90 overall defensemen next week. While I'm excited to have this card because he is one of my favorite players to watch, even though I'm a Sabres fan, the card itself has been underwhelming. Not because of how he plays in game or overall ability, but the lack of use I get with him. I know you mentioned this in a prior video, but his endurance only allows him to see the ice 2 times a period. Just wondering if you had any luck with the strategy change, because at this point I'm contemplating turning off gold wheels. I know this is the best ability in the game, but this year I don't feel like wheels take so much more stamina from players than in years past. I don't know if this would be a good move, or if he's still the fastest card in the game aside from 92 Larkin that most of us won't get for another couple of weeks. Just thought I'd throw this out there for anyone who's struggling with the stamina, because I would really like to see him on the ice as much as possible. Oh, man. When I see it from enough people, I get concerned. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's very tough. Hey, Slaves, loving all the content. Line of question and comment. I chose to just grab the 90 overall cards for McKinnon, Heisey, and a future D-man. I chose to do this because free abilities do not seem worth it for the ultimate versions. Question is, I sold about 787s and I'm a bit rich with coins. How best to spend them in the future? I'm banking on future fantasy event, and I want to be all over it. Thanks, man. I honestly don't know. Because, like, here's the thing. That pack that came out... Oh, I need to talk about that, too. The 87 overall pack in the store, it's in the flash sale one. I think it's still in there. It's 387s that are untradeable for 160,000 coins. That's great value. What it's done is drop the value of 87 overalls. They were 90,000 at launch of the event, and I've seen them for under 80. Depending on what you sold them for, you might be able to just buy back 87s for future events, because that's what should be the bare minimum. I don't know. The way that they've done events is just awful. So I don't know what to prepare for. I'm being honest with you. Ace Slaves, question for you. I can probably make 2 Team of the Year players. I have McDavid's Frozen Forces, and I have 2 out of 4 X Factor captains. I wanted to make McKinnon and McDavid's Team of the Year cards, but after last night's leak, there is someone in week 2 that I think I must make. Should I build McKinnon and hold off on McDavid and solely make his X Factor in order to make a player in week 2, or should I just make McDavid and not make a player for week 2? Love the content, by the way. Again, I think this is changed by you waiting or being able to make McDavid in the next week. Something that you could consider is just, unless you didn't make Kucherov as one of your X Factor captains, you could trade in Kucherov's X Factor. Hey, I have Kucherov Team of the Year, Bolts fan, and I have enough resources to make another Ultimate and another base. Should I make McKinnon Ultimate and a base D-Man, or make an Ultimate D-Man and base McKinnon? Keep the great work. I'd always recommend having McKinnon. McKinnon's card is just absolutely insane, so that's probably where I would go. Hey, Slaves, offline, no money spent player. I have Team of the Year McKinnon. I was on a blind date with his card. It was a blind date with his card, and I have not tested his previous... Okay. Gotta say, he's nice. I took your early advice and bought the base McDavid a few months ago, and he felt great. But I wanted to try something new, and I got Mac. Also, I'm still going for Supercharged McDavid. I have 2 captains and almost got a 3rd. At this point, I've invested so much in obtaining the card since launch, might as well. As you mentioned to a comment last time, I would have beat the game once I finally got my Supercharged McDavid. That was a class, by the way. I might be in the minority for doing that, as Team of the Year has all the free abilities, but I could only afford 1 forward this week, and going to see if I can make Team of the Year D-Man, probably going to be Makar, but hoping for Bouchard or Fox, as I have other nominees. I'll hopefully be able to make the base with my resources left. Great YouTube channel, always on the lookout for your input on all things Hut. One day I'll catch your Twitch streams. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate that, man. I would... At that point, you might as well, like, Supercharged McDavid, again, is the same card as the Team of the Year version, and the cost to upgrade is almost nothing, but you just have to wait for his abilities to get unlocked, which is the major issue. In your instance, I wouldn't make Team of the Year McDavid. For me, I feel like the Ice Tilt, Ice Tilt is just my player speed. I don't really care if a weak goal goes in. I get what you're saying about ping giving you the feeling, but I swear my 94, 95 speed players skating in a straight line with full energy feel like they're in mud sometimes. I think another issue when it comes to skating in this game and cards in general, and one of the issues that, like, isn't talked about enough, is that there's like this 10-foot spot where your player has to get the separation. So what I mean by that is if you are stride by stride, or you're not even stride by stride with a defenseman, and you have a big speed advantage. If they position you right, they can kind of take it away and skate with you for a second. And a lot of people, when I've seen clips, are kind of confused by that. There isn't any card in the game outside of Pareko in which you're skating side by side, and it's almost you'll never have a chance to keep up. And or Sorelli. But yeah, it's mostly going to come down to ping, and the reason for that is just your connectivity to the server, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe in 10 years we'll have an old dev come out here and be like, "Yeah, man, we were messing with sliders every game." You know, until then it's just like it's so frustrating just thinking that's the case, because then like what's the point in playing, right? Like it's frustrating. I got you. Rip my charge, McDavid. Got to do what you got to do though. I feel that in my bones, brother. Hey, when are the Game Breakers sets going to come back? I have 12 cards for 2 sets. One of the most like stupid ways to do events. It's like, why not just make it every week? You know, I don't understand. First time commenter. First of all, I wanted to say that I love your channel and I think that you're the most reasonable, chill creator for any game I've ever played. Well, thank you, my man. I didn't start playing Hut or even the game itself until June last year, so this is my first year being here since the start, and I've got to say, even though all the bugs and BS with a lot of the game, I'm really enjoying grinding for my team this year. Everything is new, so obviously, but I'm learning a lot from your videos. Would love if you wanted to rate my team. All right, you've got Team of the Year McKinnon, Gallagher Great Sakic, Team of the Year McDaddy, Doan, Larkin, Hossa, Nylander, Gretzky, Kucherov, Suzuki, Backstrom, Miller, Letang, and Orr. ASP, Hedman, Seider, Werenski. Last line of both defense and offense will be replaced soon. I'm just waiting for some more Avs cards and got Hut Rich this weekend after selling my leftover fodder. Team of the Year Makar and Four Nations Taves will take first line next week when he gets a Team of the Year. If he gets a Team of the Year. But that'll be a sick. I mean, like, dude, your lineup is stacked. It goes up against any other lines. I think that maybe center is your weakest position. But not really. Like, there's, you know, love your approach with a somewhat themed team, but still competitive, and we'll go that route with the Avs from now on for Team of the Year. Love from Sweden, starting with long content. No problem, man. Yeah, this is my favorite way to play, I think. Like, if you guys have seen my No Money Spent series, like, or my team, my fourth line is just the master set, Will Smith, Celebrini, and Joe Thornton. And they rarely see the ice, but when I see them in game, I get kind of amped up. I try to score a little bit more, you know? And I just think it's a fun way to play the game. Hey, Slaves, just wanted to say my X Factor Kucherov counted for my goals, so I don't think you need to get goals with Team of the Year cards, just players in general. Oh, yeah, I apologize if I said that. It's just the players in general. You can do it in the moments, even. Is treating Team of the Year like a normal event not a bad idea? Like, base versions are pretty much normal MSPs. I made the upgradable McDavid, obviously, but why not make Kucherov and McKinnon? They will be some of the best cards for a minute. Thoughts? 100% agree. 100% agree. Obviously, the value, if you can get the ultimates, are by far some of the best in the game, because that you just won't have to worry about the cost, and they come with 5 abilities. But no, for sure. Like I said this in my other video, like, as long you should leave the event without McDavid, right? And the same thing, like, it could be said for McKinnon as well. So I'm with you on that. There's no issues with only being able to make the one. I think it's a good way to go. And like I said, I think it's the one positive from this new change to Team of the Year. I started Hut this week, and I'm wondering what I should be doing. I'm wondering if there are any old sets I should be doing. It's definitely moments. Like, if you just started, I'd be grinding moments. Start with the Team of the Year ones and kind of work your way backwards. Go and look at what the rewards are for completing those moments, because there's some that will give you some cards that you can trade in, and that's what's important. I'd also be doing squad battles because it's offline. You can you don't have to worry about your team really, and I stay offline. Even if you want to play online, wait a couple weeks, build up your team, and then go from there. That's probably the way to go. Hey, Slaves, big fan. I only discovered your channel in December, and I wish I'd known it for much longer. For Team of the Year, I have Frozen Forces, McDavid, and Kucherov, and I only have 587s right now. I've traded in everything I have and finished all the chores. Should I make regular Team of the Year McKinnon and push for at least the ultimate Team of the Year Kucherov, or should I save for the D-Man next week? I don't think I have enough time or resources to make McDavid unless I use real money. Again, this might be resolved when with the fact that they've extended the forwards for a full week. that's going to do it for today's episode of Who Should You Choose. Be sure to tune into the live stream again on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Come hang out. There was 2,000 people in there last time as we break down the defensive team of the year. If you miss it, you can't get to the live stream, I will make sure that I have a video covering the entire event and everything you need to know, like I always do. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time.